Okay, so let's have a look at the actual functionality in the system and use the case study of the 9,000 kilograms of used cooking oil methyl ester being sold to BP1 as an example. So I'm going to log into the application using my username and password. You can distribute individual username and passwords to each site so that each site is responsible for collecting the sustainability data, or you can just have one username and password at a central location that is consolidating all of that data. Just depends on each organization and the way in which they're set up. So here we are, we're logged into the system. The screen is split into two parts. On the left hand side we have a navigation bar which allows you to look at each module within the system, and when I click on each module I can see that the functionality is then tailored in the landing page, and the functionality is accessed through tiles, these square boxes. We've designed the system in this way so that it's easy to use on a tablet, so the touchscreen facility is available. Also it's simple and easy to use using a PC, a Mac or a smartphone. So the first thing I'm going to do when I log into the system as a new user is to set up the sites to reflect the physical supply chain that my feedstocks and biofuel is passing through. So if I go to administration and I click on geography, I'm able to pull up a list of all of the sites that are in the system. So these are all the locations that I have registered in Elements. So for this demo I want to have a look at the sites that we've created for our BP1 and the 9,000 kilograms of Ucomi. So here we can see the 3 used cooking oil collection points. We've got the first gathering point at Leer, volume allocation site at Appen, where the biofuel is processed, and then the distribution depot at Hessel. If I want to have a look at one of these sites, I can drill in through clicking on the name, and I can see the useful information that builds up a profile about that site. And this is what an auditor will want to be looking at in order to make sure that all of the relevant documentation is available to justify that it is RSB certified. So I'm able to upload documentation, whether it's an RSB certificate or health and safety, whatever it might be. But this is the ability to create a profile for that particular site. It's probably easiest to look at sites through the map, so I'm able to pull up all of my sites in a map. For example, I can take a look at different site types. So why don't we have a look at the used cooking oil collection points, and I can see the 3 sites where we're going to be collecting our used cooking oil. So if I click on that site, I can see over here that this is RSB Wiener, and there's a little note to the driver to say that only collect on Wednesdays after 3 p.m. If I click on view site, I can also go back into that profile. So once all of the sites have been created in the system, I need to allocate conversion factors for the mass balance calculation at each site. So again, I'll go into administration, and if I go into conversion factors, I will see here each conversion factor that I, as a biofuel company, has specified. So I know what efficiency rate my locations are operating at. And so RSB Appen is where the processing facility is for UCO to Ucomi, and they have a conversion factor of 1 to 0.9. So in order to make 9 kilograms of Ucomi, I need 10 kilograms of used cooking oil. At Leer and Hessel, these are 2 storage locations, so I've got UCO to UCO, which is a conversion factor of 1, and I've got RSB Hessel, I've got Ucomi to Ucomi, which again is a storage location, conversion factor of 1. And the last bit of configuration I need to do is I need to tell Elements which certification schemes I recognize and which certification schemes I'm using in order to verify the sustainability of my biofuels and feedstocks. So if I click into certification schemes, I can input in here the different certification schemes that I am recognizing. RSB is obviously in there. Okay, so back to reality. What happens when the feedstock and the used cooking oil methyl ester is sold on to BP1? BP1 will typically receive a digital passport, and that digital passport will provide the Okay, so let's get back to our case study of the 9,000 kilograms of Eucomi that was sold to BP1. What will BP1 receive traditionally today? They'll receive a proof of sustainability certificate very similar to the one on your screens at the moment, detailing the participating operator and then the recipient of that biofuel. However, when Elements is used in order to publish the proof of sustainability certificates, you'll notice that a digital passport number will now be included in the header. This digital passport number will provide the auditor with the necessary product ID to verify the chain of custody back to a point of origin, and also allow him or her to view the mass balance calculations that this particular consignment have travelled through to ensure that they are in credit during the accounting period. So if I copy that digital passport number and then go back into Elements and go to the traceability module and open up the digital passport and use that ID, I can see that the first screen tells me exactly where that consignment is today. So I can see that it's owned by BP1, it's based at plant 2, there's 9,000 kilograms, and it is German origin, 100% German origin, and it's certified under RSB. So that's where we are today. So what the auditor wants to do is walk back up through the supply chain. And so in order to do that, he or she must click on History. So by clicking on the History tab, I can start walking through the supply chain. So here I can see that on the 23rd of March, my consignment was sent from Hessel to plant 2. It was sent. So here on the 23rd of March, I can see that my consignment was sent from Hessel to plant 2. It was sent by sea. It used CRD containers as a transporter. And at Hessel, we can see that in order to output 9,000 kilograms in the system, we need to associate that 9,000 kilograms to an input of 9,000, and the system will do that automatically. So here we can see that it's associated 9,000 kilograms required to this product ID. So if I click on View Products, I can see that it's associated to this product ID, and so in order to walk back through the supply chain, I click on the link, and here I can see that this particular consignment was sent from Appen on the 23rd of March. It was sent by road by TTF transporters to Hessel, and we can see that the system has allocated that 9,000 kilograms to this 9,000 kilograms of product which exited from Appen. Appen, don't forget, is the processing unit. So the system has to allocate an input for that 9,000 kilograms at Appen. It uses the mass balance calculation and the conversion factor. And so we can see that in order to create an output of 9,000 kilograms of Eucomi, we need 10,000 kilograms of Euco. So that 10,000 kilograms, we need to walk back and see where that came from. So the system has allocated 2 product IDs to make up that 10,000 kilograms. One product ID which consists of 738 kilograms and another 9,261. So we could go back and have a look at both, but just for time, just for the benefit of time, let me have a look at the larger consignment ID. So here we can see that this 9,261 kilograms, which was part of an original consignment of 10,000 kilograms, and that 10,000 kilograms was sent from Leer 2 to Appen, using the same transporters by road, TTF transporters. And so in Leer is a storage location, so in order to provide Appen with 10,000 kilograms from Leer needs to associate that 10,000 kilograms to an input that they have received. And here we can see that the system has allocated 10,000 to this product ID. So if I look at products, I can see that this product ID was associated to that 10,000. And so I can see that the product has been received at Leer 2 and it was sent from IHR Hove. So as you can see, mass balance calculations are volume allocating verified quantities, volumes of biofuel or feedstock as you walk back up through the supply chain. And so consequently the auditor is able to verify the chain of custody for that particular order, and is happy that all of the sustainability data is in place and it meets the RSB certification. So the next thing he needs to do, or she, is to have a look at the mass balance calculation. So if I click into my mass balance report, I can go and first of all have a look at Hessel. So this is the location that I sent, the final destination, final location that RSB member sent the used cooking oil methyl ester to BP1. So if I use a 3-month accounting period, I'm able to see what has arrived and what has exited from Hessel. So during this period of time, so I can see that in Hessel we've only got Ucomi, we've only got at the moment RSB certified Ucomi, and we can see that 230 odd thousand kilograms has arrived and only 9,000 is left. So looking at our in and out calculation, we can see that we're very much in credit. So walking back to the next location, let's have a look at Appen. So if we have a look at Appen's mass balance calculation for the same period, we can see that we have received two types of UCO. We've received 275,000 kilograms of RSB certified and 4,500 of unknown. So we cannot use 4,500 of this UCO for any consignments which are associated to an RSB requirement. So we can see that we've received in total UCO, both RSB and uncertified, 280,000 kilograms. And then we can see what's exited, so what Ucomi has exited. We've only exited RSB certified Ucomi, and that was a total of 247,000. So again, we can verify from our in and out totals that the Appen location is positive. And finally, we can have a look at our Lear location, our first gathering point, during the same time period. And here we can see that UCO has been arriving into Lear. Get the right location. So Lear 2 we were looking at. So here we can see that RSB certified UCO has been arriving at the first gathering point here from the used cooking oil collection points. And again, looking at the in and out calculation, we can tell that we're in credit and everything's fine. So that pretty much will provide the auditor with the necessary information required in order to verify that that 9,000 kilograms of used cooking oil methyl ester meets RSB standards. So I'm just going to finish off with just to show you one small piece of functionality that I know has been a headache for many of the people I've spoken to, especially those people using spreadsheets in order to manage the mass balance calculations at each location. And that's when a physical stock correction is required. That's when a physical dip is taken in one of the tanks, and that needs to be aligned with the data, the sustainability data, which is being tracked. And so using elements, we're able to add a stock correction at any site, and that stock correction will then have a note attached to it which will provide the auditor with the necessary information to explain why the stock correction has taken place, and then that will have a knock-on effect up through the mass balance calculations in the system. And so there won't be need to go into each calculation and make manual edits. The system will just automatically update the mass balance calculations with the quantity of correction that has been inputted. So that's around about it. It's a sort of a fairly high level overview of the software. I'd be delighted to talk to anybody in more detail one-on-one if you'd like to contact me. I think my contact details are on the final slide. But at that point, I think I'll hand over back to Helena, and then we can finish the final slide and look forward to hear any questions that you may have. Many thanks.